remember information that confirms pre-established beliefs, while also disproportionately rejecting information which may contradict those beliefs.
Hey Leah, I'm Charlie. I'm a physicist, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about how astrology actually has some physics backing to it, in about 10 simple steps. And then I'm going to close a little bit with something about what you talked about, confirmation bias. Let's get into this, shall we? The moon, planets, everything we see in the sky, they all provide a gravitational force on the Earth. Tidal forces from each of these objects all flex and reshape each of them accordingly. There's a tidal bulge from every single one of the objects that the Earth is near. These flexes of the Earth happen rhythmically within the rotation of the Earth. So when there's the bulge and the Earth is rotating through that bulge with perspective to the Earth, that bulge looks like a traveling wave going around the surface of the Earth. The Earth is also conductive. It allows for electric currents to be transmitted through it, through the crust, through the center of it, along with mechanical vibrations, but we don't really need to worry about those at this exact moment, because the bulge is essentially a mechanical vibration that's going around the Earth. Ground dipole antennas are extraordinarily long spans of the Earth that are used as an electromagnetic antenna. Just like we used to see all the Christmas tree antennas on everyone's house, the beam length, the stick length, as they get progressively smaller or bigger, each of those lengths defines the resonant frequency or resonant wavelength of electromagnetic waves that those antennas are operating in. The length of each of those beams determines what frequency each of those beams transmit and receive at. So the length of which of them determines the wavelength. To get an extremely large wavelength antenna, it requires an extremely long beam. Instead of using a very long wire, we use what are known as ground dipole antennas, where electricity is conducted and oscillated back and forth through long spans of the Earth, and that emits what are known as extremely low frequency electromagnetic waves, also known as ELF waves, or ELF waves. These ground dipole antennas just so happen to be the only antennas that can operate in the same frequency range as our brain waves. Hold on to that, because we're going to get back to that one. We know these are a thing because ELF waves are actually used by the militaries, specifically the navies of the world, to transmit to their submarines deep in the ocean. Because extremely low frequency electromagnetic waves are the only ones that can penetrate through hundreds of meters of water. And in so doing, they can go through our bodies, like paper, like nothing. They can go through hundreds of meters of water, they can go through our bodies. In effect, just so happens those extremely low frequency waves from these antennas, which just so happen to be in the same frequency ranges as our brain waves, happen to couple with our brains. The extremely low frequency waves can couple with our brains because they go right through our body, and the electromagnetic state of our brains is affected by that. Subtly, but it's still affected by it. Now let's talk about the electroseismic effect. This is the Earth's property that makes it piezoelectric, meaning compression or flexing of the Earth produces alternating electric fields, and then thus alternating electric currents across the Earth, through the Earth. As we know in basic geophysics, the Earth rings like a bell. In fact, its resonant eigenmodes are analogous to the spherical harmonics of an electron in an atom. As such, the Earth's vibrational states can be talked about and explicitly represented using quantum mechanics. Why? Because quantum mechanics is spherical harmonics, and again is analogous to the spherical harmonics of an electron around a nucleus. I have a video that explains all of the math with visuals if you'd like to watch. But just for now, no, the Earth's vibrational states is discussed explicitly in terms of quantum mechanics, and this has nothing to do with particle physics at all. It just so happens that the spherical harmonic eigenmodes of the Earth's vibrational states are analogous and equivalent to the electron's spherical harmonics around the nucleus. There are subtle differences in the different quantum numbers used, and the spin of an electron is also considered, but for all intents and purposes, they are analogous. Now, when the Earth vibrates, or that bulge is traveling around the Earth, when the Earth turns once every 24 hours, I think that's a 1 divided by 84,600 per second frequency, hertz. When the Earth rotates, every one of those little dipole antennas, every one of those extraordinarily long dipole antennas around the Earth gets strummed like a guitar string. The flexing and contracting of the Earth causes the electroseismic effect to oscillate each of those chords of the ground. As those cords in the ground oscillate, they produce electromagnetic frequency waves in the ranges of extremely low frequency waves, in the ranges of our brain waves. So, the positions of the planets, sun, moons, everything, those cause specifically shaped bulges of the Earth, that as the Earth rotates through those specifically shaped bulges, it strums the Earth just different ways based off of the positions of all those objects in the sky. In effect, the positions of everything in the sky as the Earth rotates affects the electromagnetic frequency waves that are produced by the Earth as it vibrates and affect our brains, our emotional states, our moods, because they couple with our brain waves. Subtly, but they still do. Functionally, I haven't even used particle physics here. I don't even think I've left classical mechanics other than using electromagnetic waves. My favorite part about all this actually is if the position of all the objects in the sky affects the way the Earth vibrates, which affects the electromagnetic waves that the Earth ripples off, which affects the way our brains operate, Mars rising might literally make us all really angry as it starts strumming the Earth. When Mars is in the right position, it might strum the Earth just right that it causes a little bit of a difference in us. I don't have an exact map to how all these things are done, but I'm pretty sure the people who've been doing this for thousands of years might have that map. But functionally, I just explained exactly how the planet's positions affect our emotional states, moods, engagements, relationships, everything. And the coolest part about all this is a motor is a generator is a motor is a generator. So what that means is if we can mass stimulate everyone's brains at the same time, or individually the right way all at the same time, all of our brain waves ripple out in mass, collectively flex on the Earth's electromagnetic field, which, due to the electroseismic effect, flex the Earth physically. The Earth's physical shape and flexing actually provides a force upon all the planets in the sky. What that means is, by controlling the brain states of all the people coordinatedly all at the same time, we can functionally move and alter the positions of the things in the sky. Yes, by effectively mass stimulating everyone's brains in just the right way, where all of those waves superimpose onto each other and flex the Earth just right, we can actively move the stars. And this is what Tesla meant when he said, we can power the Earth and produce all the electricity we want and literally hook up to the wheelwork of the solar system. Every one of those objects in the sky, its momentum, its kinetic energy, can be extracted from to produce power and electricity or anything else we want by connecting to the wheelwork of the solar system. That's crazy. It's not, though, because what I just explained is a functional space propulsion system for the Earth and solar system at large. Earth Starship, anyone? Yeah. And now I'm going to take it back to you, Leah.